Excuse me for the way I speak, because this is my first video I'm making. Um, First, like, personal video I'm making on YouTube. I was just talking to my mom. It's Mother's Day. I was just talking to my mom, and I just thought it was interesting. We got in the conversation. Every time I talk to my parents, they they like to they like to sneak in or squeeze in, crowbar in, a, you know, a need for me to, or an urgency for me to, uh, side with the organization Jehovah's Kingdom. It happens every single time, which is actually very exhausting, to the point where it makes me not even want to talk to them sometimes, because that's really all they have to talk about. But there was interesting. It was a very interesting point that I ended up making. I ended up making something that actually surprised me a little bit. An argument that surprised me that I came up with. I don't know why. I mean, I've in the past I've definitely came up with this argument before, but it hit home a little bit more this time when I was talking to my mom, and I was just like, there was a couple things that I talked about. I mentioned how they don't go preaching and tell people, hey, if the organization that I'm trying to get you to join, if you don't join, we are encouraged to keep your whole family from speaking to you. That was one point that I made. I'm like, Mom, when you're talking to these people trying to get them to convert, do you tell them that you don't? This organization that encourages people to disown their family members if they don't comply with the organization. Do you guys tell them that? Obviously they don't. So it was interesting. I brought that up. And I brought that up, and I was like, because one of my sisters doesn't even speak to me, and she's a J-Dub, and I was like, yeah, like, do you think she goes door to door and tell people that she hasn't spoken to her brother in over 10 years? My mom's like, oh, that's not me. I'm like, yeah, that's not you, but the organization encouraged you to do that. They imply that you do that. They want you to do that. They suggest that you do that. That's a suggestion that they make. And yeah, you could either agree to do it or choose not to do it. But it is put out there that if your family member does not comply, they encourage you to shun them. So I kind of made that point. Obviously, she's not listening, but I just wanted to talk to YouTube, share that with YouTube, since it is a big part of my life. I don't ever really. I try not to. I never really cared to be a part of the XJW community, but it is a big part of my life, and I guess I might as well be part of that community. I am part of that community anyway on YouTube. So, like, I'm part of it because I follow a lot of people that are XJWs. But as far as me putting myself out there, I never really cared to do that. But I don't mind changing my mind and becoming, somebody that actually makes content. Because, like I said, it is a big part of my life. Hopefully that came out right, but because I'm not editing this video. I don't care. Y'all getting this raw and uncut. I'm not editing this video. My first video, and I'm gonna be as raw and uncut as I can possibly be. Because at the end of the day, what does it matter, And then the other point that I made was, if you're gonna go, I was like, Mom, if anything is gonna come into my life, if anyone's gonna come into my life and tell me how to live my life, if they're not helping me excel in life, i.e. make more money, then they got no business coming into my life and telling me how to live my life. If you're not gonna help me make money to feed my family, you have no business telling me anything. Why do I need to listen to you? Oh, because Jehovah, Armageddon's coming. I'm like, Mom, there's no evidence of that. Every generation of humans has believed in some way or some form or fashion, has believed that they were the last generation to live. So telling me that this is the end of the world is coming doesn't tell me anything, because every generation prior to us has said the same thing. So I'm not interested in that. That's what I told her. And I said, I'm only here for 40 more years if I'm lucky. I got 40 years if I'm lucky. I'm like, I don't need to serve anything. I ain't here to serve no one. If anything, if Jehovah is real, right? If Jehovah's real, and he's here for eternity, and I'm only here for 40 more years, he should be serving me. That's what I told my mom. I'm like, look, I only got 40 years left if I'm lucky. And that's if I'm lucky. I got 40 years left. So why I ain't got no time to be serving anybody. I need some serving. I need somebody to serve me for my little 40 years that I got left. I know it sounds funny, but it's like, yo, you know? I thought that was interesting, but it really does make sense. It's like, yo, I brought up, I'm like, you know, the Muslims, you know, growing up, we had a lot of Indians around. We lived next to a lot of Indians, and a big part of their religion, you know, is a big thing that you can observe from their faith is that I don't look at their bank account statements. I never came across it, but there's something about them and finances that seems to be working out, you know? And I'm gonna equate, I'm gonna credit their religion to their finances. You know, some kind of group economics that they tend to perpetuate. So, and that's kind of what I was on. I'm like, why is it that I was like, Mom, if anything, Jehovah's Witnesses, they want you to be broke. They don't even want you to have money, because when you have money, they feel like they can't control you. So they want you to be dirt poor. And my mom is like, oh, I worked 2 jobs, I worked this job, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Mom, working your ass off and having money and being, you know, perpetuating group economics is 2 different things. What are you talking about? I know you worked. I know my dad worked. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this organization wants to take time from my life, wants me to go into the Kingdom Hall, wants me to go out in field service. Where's my how am I being compensated for that? What, because you're telling me that Jehovah is gonna save me during Armageddon? That's not enough. I don't need that. That's not telling me anything. I want to know, what am I gonna get right now? How's it gonna benefit me right now? Because I'm doing it right now. You know, give me some money. You know. Other than that, then like, what are we talking about here? You know. What exactly are we talking about? I'm kind of flabbergasted by that. Like, you know, I remember growing up, I had a problem with the organization because I'm like, okay, I need to navigate this world. I need to figure out how to be a black man in society, and they weren't even helping me do that. You know, I had to walk around like everybody's colorblind. Or at least that was the gist, of it. Like I had to, pretend like I'm a white. I don't even know. Like we can go deeper into that too, because it seems like a lot of the pictures that they had, everybody was white after Armageddon. So there's something about that too. I guess Jehovah's Witnesses kind of believe that Jehovah's gonna come and make all the black people white. That's one of the things that's one of the benefits. The presupposed benefits of being a black Jehovah's Witness is that God's gonna make you white after Armageddon. that was something that kind of was out there for a little while, and it kind of crossed my mind, or at least it was an argument that either I had with myself or I had with somebody else, or I saw somebody else kind of bring up. I can't remember exactly what the source was, but it was interesting because you never saw, they did not depict any images of black people after Armageddon. And we can go deeper into that. We can go deeper into how, carnivores are being petted. Like why I can pet a lion now because because it doesn't eat meat anymore, because eating meat is a sin. Who knew? Who knew animals were out here committing sin by eating each other? I guess they're supposed to have a plates and spoons to, to feed themselves. They're supposed to have a refrigerator to keep or grow. They're supposed to have like farms where they can grow, artificial meat. Well, a lion doesn't eat meat after Armageddon, people. Newsflash. And you can pet it. So it's just silly stuff, man. Like, it's silly stuff, and I never subscribed to it. Never did. Never agreed with it. I was 8 years old. I remember being 8 years old. I couldn't celebrate Halloween, and I wanted to know why. And the Bible did not tell me why. So it's just those things. But yeah, the take-home message, the take-home information that I'm trying to portray is, how dare you, especially in this economy, in this world, how dare you go to somebody, approach somebody, trying to convert them to a lifestyle, your lifestyle, and there's literally nothing in it for them. Like, literally nothing in it for them. That is the most disrespectful thing you could do to anybody. I don't care what you say. There's nothing in it for you if you're going to be a doomsday cult. There ain't nothing in it for me. Because if you have half a brain, you would be the whole human existence. You could be peddling doomsday messages. We had, and at the end of the day, yeah, if you kind of respect the science, yeah, this isn't gonna last forever. So I don't need to be out here scared, running around saying, "Oh my God." I don't need to be I don't got time for that. I just need to enjoy my life, take care of my family, and that's it. I don't need to be doing anything else. You know, I don't need to be peddling doomsday messages. We could do that for millenniums. You know, we've been doing that for millenniums. The human, you know, shit. Dinosaurs could have been doing that, peddling doomsday, and guess what? It happened. But guess what? Dinosaurs were here way longer than humans have. But guess what? They lived all their eons and millions. They lived for millions of years. The dinosaur species. They lived from. We haven't even touched a million yet. You talking doomsday messages? We haven't even scraped the surface of a million years of existence, and you're already talking doomsday. The dinosaurs, they were here for millions of years. And guess what? Their doomsday came. And guess what? Ours might come too. So I don't got time for that. The little bit of time that I have is all I have. I don't got time to be running around telling everybody that the end's coming, the end's gonna come. That's pointless. But anyway, thank you for listening to my little rant. This is my first little video, personal video on YouTube. And hope you guys enjoy it. Comment, maybe subscribe. I don't care. It's up to you. And, you know, yeah, that's about it. Take care. Maybe I'll do more.